Good day to you, and welcome back to my reminiscences. I would like to tell you about reaching 80 years, and the very enjoyable celebrations that were prepared for me at that time. On Saturday the 21st of March 1891, a tea party was held in the warehouse of Hurst Mill, to celebrate my 80th birthday. The room had been beautifully decorated by Mr. John Stones, with the walls and ceiling being completely hidden by curtains and drapery. Indeed, the chairman of the event, Mr. Yoxall, commented that whilst we were supposed to be in a mill warehouse, it looked more like a splendid drawing room. The beams had been adorned with appropriate mottos such as "Success to Hurst Mill," "Long live our master," and "May cordial relations continue." Mr. Yoxall was very complimentary in his speech, saying that the staff of the mill, from youngest to oldest, were proud of having for their master such a fine old English gentleman as Mr. Tipping. There were such loud cheers, that I was quite touched by the scale of the response. He went on to say that it was their desire that I should have a tangible token of their heartfelt congratulations on my attainment of such a ripe old age, and also of the esteem and affection in which I was held by my workpeople. There were more cheers, before he said that I would be pleased to hear that every man, woman and child in the mill had subscribed his or her mite, towards a beautiful illuminated address which was to be presented shortly. There followed further brief speeches, and I was delighted that a recurring theme was the cordial relations which existed between employer and employed, which was, after all, something I had continued to strive for, since becoming a business owner. The chairman then declared, quite rightly, that this was an age of women's rights. I'm sorry to have to tell you that this drew laughter from the audience, who were unaccustomed to such ideas and sentiments, although, under my guidance, it was a growing recognition within the management of the company. He continued that there was, therefore, no reason why a woman should not take a principal part in the proceedings, and that he had pleasure in calling upon a young lady, Miss Mary Jones, who had worked at the mill for nearly 19 years, to make the presentation. Miss Jones ascended the platform and, speaking to me directly, said, "On behalf of the whole of the workpeople of Hurst Mill, I have very great pleasure in presenting you with this token of good feeling, and hope that you may be amongst us for many years to come." There were more loud cheers before Miss Jones proceeded to deliver the address. Presented to Mr. William Tipping by his employed, on the occasion of his having attained his 80th birthday, March 11, 1891. Dear Sir, we, the employed at Hurst Mill, Ashton-under-Lyme, desire most heartily to congratulate you on your having reached the ripe old age of 80 years, and our pleasure is increased by the fact that, notwithstanding a long life of unremitting toil, your eye is not dimmed, nor your natural force abated. We would also take this opportunity of expressing to you the great esteem and regard in which you are held by all your workpeople, on account of the fair and honest treatment we have invariably received at your hands, in all matters which have, from time to time, arisen between employer and employed. We appreciate this all the more, as we recognize that you have risen from the lowest to the highest position in commercial life, by your own indefatigable exertions and perseverance. It is the lot of very few, to be able to look back upon 71 years' active connection with the cotton industry, and we rejoice with you, that you are permitted, in robust health and strength, to enjoy in your old age the reward of your labors. We earnestly trust that, under the blessings of divine providence, you may be spared for many years, to guide the destinies of Hurst Mill, and that the same cordial relations which now exist between us, may long continue to our mutual advantage. Signed on behalf of your employed, Mary Jones, Isaac Clough, John Gallagher, James Knowles, John Flood, George Mullen and H. W. Woodcock, March 21, 1891. I rose from my seat to respond and was greeted with loud applause, the whole company, numbering about 150, rising and singing most heartily, "Auld Lang Syne." I thanked them from the bottom of my heart for the splendid address they had given me, and told them that they could not have chosen anything that would have pleased me better than the expression of the cordial relations which existed between the workpeople and myself. I had been at Hurst Mount Mill for 25 years, and we had never had a lockout or a strike. We could always settle any differences that might arise by a friendly interview. I had no doubt that whenever I entered the mill, everyone knew when I was pleased, by my beaming countenance. However, if there was anything wrong, they could discern that immediately. They laughed at that. I told them that I was proud of my workpeople, and often said so. I did not think there was a mill anywhere where the average wages were higher than at Hurst Mount Mill. We had had 2 years' good trade, but at the present time, there was a slight depression. I did not see any reason why there should not be a speedy revival. Cotton was very cheap, and all that was needed was a demand for manufactured goods. I believed there was a prosperous future for the cotton industry. I concluded by advising every one of my workpeople to live good, honest and sober lives. To keep away from the public houses, and spend the evenings with their wives and children. To do their duty to me, and, in return, I promised to do my duty to them. I sat down to loud cheers which seemed to last for an eternity. The chairman proposed success and prosperity to Oakwood Mill Romilly, which was jointly owned by my son, William, and Mr. Plant, to which they gratefully responded, following which there was a very interesting program of music, songs, recitations and dancing. The evening was brought to a close with a vote of thanks to all those who had contributed to the evening's entertainment, following which, the audience rose, for a rousing chorus of "For he's a jolly good fellow." And so, now, I was officially 80. I hope you will join me again for some further reminiscences of my life and times.